We're live. Who all is here? Those of you who are not watching a commercial for lawn care or gutter guards or whatever. Got NSB Custom Cars here. Two ATVs in our life. Welcome. He asks, who is good with an 833 4-speed around here? I'm in Pulaski. I read that. I might be interested in that. It sounds like you got, a couple of them just need to be freshened up. So we can talk. Unfinished project. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly. Thumper is here. He's got a couple of tech things to handle, and he's ready unless something breaks. Unless something breaks, it's always a key word, right? Kim fixes things, working on the dart all evening. Yeah, it's the little things. It always takes longer. That is the way. You can do it the way most all of us do it, which is, oh man, I got one day left. Or you can do it the Don English way and do, a 20-minute job every day for 10 months. Either way works if it works. Colleen is here. Mohawk 62 says he might not be able to keep up tonight. Don't worry. We'll be here a while. RC Industry is in the house. Frankenstein C20 Twisted Mopar Garage. Dakota is here. Glad you could make it. Pure Pontiac Garage. Big Mike of the Hoopty Barn. RT211 Racing Ross. B&R. Dakota says, is one day of it going to be Friday? If so, I'll just watch live footage in the bathroom at work. Yeah, Dakota, it's like last year. So Thursday we had tech cruise to Lambert's. Friday we have, of course, call-outs, bracket, and burnout. And Saturday we have, call-outs and then eliminators in 28, 10-5, monkey bike. But yeah. The One-Eyed Cat. Turbo Tom 416. He says, I'll be driving all day Wednesday to get there before dark. I get you. I'll be a day ahead of you. Blue Grit Garage. It's getting closer. Yeah, man, it's 5 days and change. Check that out. Unfinished project. My Aunt Nancy, Dizzy Izzy. Jonathan Reed says, was it FDR who said the only thing we have to fear is a radiator blowout just before the no-name nationals? No. I doubt it. He probably had people to handle that stuff for him, although radiators weren't very good in that day. Apparently, they're not very good now. So for those of you who missed my Dodge van that had a great radiator in it for 39 years, somebody replaced it with a Chinese radiator that was about 2 years old, and that tank blew up on me. So I'm going to replace it. But I'm going to go find another 40-year-old radiator and clean and fix it and put it in the van so that it will last longer than the rest of my life instead of get more Chinese junk. I don't know why people buy stuff like that. They just get away with it till they don't. NSB Custom Cars, Heavens Mopars. How's it going? Bad Tree Blake says, heathens, howdy. B&R, I have 2 rebuilt Mopar 833s. Yeah, and he says he's got a couple making a noise, but he's just up the road from me. My mom is here, Buffdale Campo. Dented Dreams, 6th Street Garage. Well, that's interesting. Well, 6th Street in what town? Ryan Barsness. Ryan Barsness, how's it going? Is it going to be your year? You putting it on the trailer tomorrow and loading up? I think I saw Engine Light Garage sneak in here. Yeah, rolling in Thursday with the Cornet. There we go. SSR Performance, a.k.a. Big James. The RC had the radiator rebuilt. Yeah, that's because you have a good brass radiator like supposed to be in there. That van will too. I ran that one obviously till I couldn't run it. Probably, I think it was a radiator cap failure. I really think that's all it was, but whatever, no big deal. Didn't get hot, didn't hurt anything. Unfinished project says 6. There's actually a town in West Virginia named 6. That's the name of the town. Scrap Iron Racing. Hey, Scrap Iron Racing. I know you had trouble with the registration site. We look forward to seeing you. We'll take care of it either way, but I thought that was interesting. Just want to make sure to let you know that we'll take care of you. I am curious think it was something with your browser. B&R says it's all Chinese. I actually have a Griffin radiator. I might measure up and see if it fits it. It's a really nice one, too. It's a NASCAR surplus piece. Only one Saturday left until the No Name Nationals 2024. That is correct. That is tomorrow. Got plenty to do. Picked up trophies today and some signage, and we had one thing that needs to be corrected on the signage. So hopefully everything will be done by Monday. I always like to have plenty of wiggle room, but there's only so much, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what that radiator would have cost him. I got it for next to nothing. I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a used NASCAR store down in Huntersville, North Carolina, just south of here. You could get great stuff, but of course you got to know what it fits and how to make it fit. 2ATVs, my email's on my channel. It's john@princetondragway.com. And I might even know the car you're talking about, that 74 Barracuda. Jib says, I only need 499 more subs to enter. You know what, though? You start now. B&R says Summit still sells brass cups. I've seen that, actually. But what I think I'll do is get a Chrysler factory piece. And there's Tony's Hot Rod Garage. How's it going, sir? Glad you could make it. I'm sure you're thrashing. So I got a few things. Got a lot of folks in here tonight. I got some notes. Just general things I want people to know for No Name Nationals. Of course, you can ask questions. And if every question is answerable, it would be the first time ever. So I probably can't answer everything. But if it's a certain logistics type question or something, I can get it answered and get back with you. But just a few odds and ends, things people have suggested to me would be good to bring up tonight. So as for a general flow of the event, the way it works, and this is mainly, I'm telling this for the new people, the people that have been to the past two get this, no huge changes, but there are some small ones. This year, well, first of all, the gates will be open on Wednesday. I'll be there all day on Wednesday. Wednesday is very much a work day. Wednesday is not a hang out and socialize day. You can, but I got a lot of stuff to do. And I'm going to draft a few of you to do a few things. But Wednesday is a setup day. However, people come from great distances to this event. And, some people will be rolling in on Wednesday, and that's cool. We'll be there. Thursday, gates are going to open early. The gates, as a general rule, are open by 7 a.m. every day of the event. Okay. Thursday, I'm going to try to make sure tech is open by 8 this year, 8 a.m. This will give you more opportunities to get through tech earlier in the day to alleviate the line. What happens is that as people roll in Thursday afternoon, it creates a little bit of a bottleneck on Thursday for Deke's time. And then people still get teched on Friday and whatnot. However, it will be handy for those of you who are here earlier to go ahead and get teched in on Thursday morning. That'll help. That'll help a lot. So that's one big improvement we're making. And because of that, too, I really want to bump up the cruise to Lambert's a little bit. The first year we did 6, second year we did 5. I think 5 is good for this year, too. We don't really want to go too awfully early. I would if I could, but I know a lot of people are driving all day on Thursday. So if we can head over at 5, that would be great. That gives us more time for, car show hangout. But, that's the idea. So Friday morning, and we'll have a good meal at Lambert's, hang out, have our car show there. Now, one thing about the cruise over. So I spoke with Possum, track operator, and it's now understood that we do this every year, and our event has a great reputation. Our people, I'm telling you, these things matter. So the very first year, we had a good reputation for not leaving any litter. No fights. Our people were kind to the concession stand staff and the water box people, and that goes a long way for showing everybody there what kind of people are at your event. And so, with that understanding that we're a good group of people who do what we're supposed to do and don't cause problems, uh, from what I understand, they're not looking to persecute us on that cruise, knowing that we're driving cars that are probably not ordinarily daily drivers. They may attract a little more attention in and of themselves. They may be a little louder or have tires that stick out a fuzz farther than is kosher. They're not looking to prosecute us or persecute us for that cruise. That said, I'm told that no burnouts, no carrying on, drive like you're supposed to, drive over there proper and sanely, and drive back proper and sanely, and they don't want to interfere with us. So read that however you wish. I'm not suggesting anybody do anything they're not supposed to. I am saying that we need to head over, drive smartly, and it really puts on quite a show for the people seeing a caravan of really cool stuff rolling from the track and into Lambert's. So I think that's really cool. It's a nice courtesy they're giving us if we behave to leave us alone and let us cruise over. Um, Friday, group photo, 9 a.m. Okay. And the way we've been doing the group photo is that I've been taking blocks of 20 numbers, car numbers, and I rotate them 20 forward at a time. And this way, if you come to the No Name Nationals every year and you keep your number every year, you're eventually going to work your way toward closer to the front of that photo. That's the way that'll work. And then some people, it's luck of the draw. So if you come for the first time this year and you just happen to wind up with a number that didn't get renewed or whatever, and you could wind up getting close to the front of the photo your first year. But it is luck of the draw in that regard. But I'm moving them in blocks to give more people more opportunities to be in the front of the photo. So we'll have your car numbers on Thursday. Group photo, 9 a.m. Friday morning. And then we want to make sure we don't have anything leaking. So I've been telling people all year long, please fix your leaks so that we don't get anything on the track. We're going to prep the track after the group photo. And as soon as the track is prepped, I get the thumbs up from the track staff. We're going to go hot. And Tom says I'm at the back this year. And it just worked out for Tom. But Tom was in the front last year. But so once the track is prepped, we're going to go hot for test and tune, because I know most everybody here will wind up bringing something that is not tested, and fingers crossed nothing blows up. But we're going to open the day with test and tune, of course. We can do call outs. So the way it'll work is there's certain things that are structured, and then in between rounds of the structured things, like burnout, like 2810, not burnout, but like bracket or 2810-5, you'll have opportunities for call outs, any matches you have set up, and test and tune. So you got lots of opportunity to make passes. I mean, I bet you B&R must have made 15, 20 passes last year. So you can make more passes at this event than probably any other event you go to. There will be plenty of opportunities to make passes. But right after lunchtime, we're going to have the bracket on Friday. That's the big bracket. It's Friday. And ideally, we're going to have our final round right around 6 p.m. local time. That would be Central. And that gives us about an hour to set up for the burnout competition. Once the final pair of cars goes down for the bracket, everybody off the track, we got to block it off, because we're going to block off the top end of the track and have our burnout competition. I wanted to work out a little something more permanent for barriers for burnout competition this year. Thank you, this last 4-year economy, it's not quite feasible. The prices on permanent jersey barriers have soared like all other construction materials. And so this is not the year for that. We'll reevaluate next year. However, this year, our friends at Roadrunner Safety Services, they've got us covered. So we're going to bring in a bunch more of those sand flower pot things. And they work okay. The only catch is that it's a lot of labor getting that set up. So I'm asking and pass the word. If you're going to be there on Wednesday, I'll probably wind up doing this on Thursday, actually. Just Wednesday afternoon, Thursday. But we definitely want to have it done before the Lambert's cruise for sure. Bring a shovel because we're going to need some help. Get some sand. We fill those things up. We fill them to the line with sand so that they make a proper barrier, and we'll put them on pallets. And then Possum's got a fork truck lined up, and we're going to place them. Hopefully 2025. We're actually working on some other avenues for this. We're going to have a permanent wall built on that side, and it will greatly reduce the amount of setup for this. That is the idea. But for this year, we're going to have another big sand party. So bring a shovel if you're going to get there early enough to get in on that. And the way I figure, it'll work out. We had probably a dozen people last year, and man, did that ever help. It made quick work of that. Now, I didn't do much of the filling of the barrels, but I emptied probably 80% of them by myself. So, and that was the day after the event when no one was there. Dallas was moving with the fork truck, and I was emptying them. So, believe me, we get our share in. Some other miscellaneous things. Barkley has, we're going to have a tutorial how to drive on a drag strip, and that's going to be Thursday. Be a real good time to do that before Lambert's. We might even do it after at night if people want to do it. But on Thursday sometime, we're going to try to have that. We're going to walk the track, and we're going to have Barkley get out there with something really quiet so that you can hear him while he's staging it. He might use a golf cart, okay? That would work totally fine for what we're doing. But what we're going to do is walk the track, and we're going to walk people through the process how to drive on a dragway. People talk about racing all the time. Racing is something else. Racing is competition. Racing is, your reaction time. It's your dial. It's how you tune the car. All that stuff is racing, and that's great. But before you can be an effective racer, a lot of people need to know how to just drive on a dragway. So we're going to talk about, here's the staging lanes. Here's the water. Here's where we put the water down. Here's, where you can do your burnout. Here's your starter, that kind of stuff. We'll talk about, how the tree works and the distance between those bulbs and how to stage properly. We'll cover, this track turns off to the left at the top end. And even though it's not a rule set in stone for obvious reasons, like one car brakes, people generally prefer to let the left lane have right of way because of that, to turn off first. And so that's recommended. But we'll cover all that stuff when we do that on Thursday. We want to give as many people an opportunity to get in on that as possible. So during the day is nice, especially if you've already teched in, but I think we'll have more people at night. So if it's feasible to get the lights on good where we can hear and everything, we might do that right after Lambert's. Might be a good time to do that. And also at Lambert's, I've got an announcement. It's going to be fun, so you may want to be there for that. Can't tell you much about it yet, though. What else do we have going on? So, burnout competition. So every year we tend to have one class that stacks up and wants to steal the show. Last year, the class that stacked up and wanted to win the show was the burnout competition. It was wild. This year, burnout looks to be a little lighter. It does. This year might be a good opportunity. If you don't want to get into something as wild and chaotic as last year, this might be the year to do it. Now, last year, 28-10-5 had a lot of breakage gremlins, and we didn't have as big of a 28-10-5 class. It was great. It was exciting. Just not as many people in the class. That's the opposite this year. This year, we're going to have a full field. And I have a lot of guys with really fast stuff getting in contact with me all week. So I think the cat's out of the bag that we have a 28-10-5 race. Clint, I'm going to try to move Lambert's up to 5 p.m. this year. Okay, if you can allow a hedge on that, that's great. Anyway, see, I lose my train of thought pretty easy. But, man, I hate when that happens. I was reading Wendy's comments saying that at the same time. Yeah, anyway, we'll do our track thing with Barkley probably Thursday night after Lambert's, though. probably the best time to do it if we can get some quiet. Um, Saturday. Saturday, we're going to go hot early, if at all possible, if the weather permitting, depending on they need to clean up the top end. Last year, we did it in the morning. The year before, we had it done at night. Last year, um, yeah, telling you what, last year, the rubber that was all over the place in the burnout competition, Barkley was running a sweeper down there. There was there were piles of just tire rubber inches deep just on the ground that you could, well, it was like mulch out there. It was a lot to clean up. It really was. But you guys threw down and put on an incredible show. So, anyway, I'm hoping more people will want to turn out for Burnout. So if you do, let me know. Going to be a great competition again. You know, we got lights. It's going to be under the lights. Jeff's going to be emceeing it again. He's always great. So this is going to be a good time to do it. I like this. What's the channel name? Melissa Delissa. That's interesting. T's Good Time Garage. It's getting serious. Yes, it is. It's 5 days and 3 hours and 38 minutes away. So, yes, it is. Good time to have a radiator blow up in your van. What's up, Redbeard Daniel? Okay, give us a quick rundown. I've been watching the shorts. Looks like you got the steering figured out. You got all your accessories mocked up. Looks like you got headers to do. What are the odds you're putting on it, Daniel? We're pulling for you. It's going to be a good field in 28-10-5. And I have a feeling that if you want to have any hope of hanging on to that 552 ET record, you better come back and play a role in it, because I think it's going to go down this year. And I'd be tickled to death if you kept your ET record, if you came and lowered it yourself. And we're going to have trophies this year for both low ET and top speed. Because right now, Redbeard has the record for low ET at 552. The Nelsons have the record for top speed at 127. And I fully expect both of those to go down. Crazy autocorrect. Autocorrect is indeed crazy. Yes, it is. Let's see here. My neighbor has two Cudas 1774. I might know your neighbor. If it's the guy asking about the transmissions, I don't know. It's possible. So anyway, that's what we got Saturday. Saturday, we're going to run Monkey Bike Eliminator on Saturday. That's going to be that. We're going to have another bracket Saturday morning. It'll be a little different. And the idea is I want to attract more people to that bracket that are not the fast hammers, because they're going to want to have their tunes in their cars for 28-10-5. So 75% chance of making it. Right on. That sounds pretty good. We're going to run Monkey Bike Eliminator. We're, of course, going to run 28-10-5 Eliminator. We typically try to have all eliminators finished by about dinner time, and that's when we do our award ceremony. And then there's a lot of people who do their drive back because they're within 3, 4, 5 hours or so. They'll do their drive back on Saturday. But a lot of us, probably half or more, will be hanging around on Saturday, and we hang out, we cook out at the track, have a great time, and a lot of people head back Sunday morning. Then Sunday morning we do the final accounting and the cleanup and all that good stuff. But that is a basic rundown. Now some just news and things to tell you. I don't see a lot of 28-10-5 guys in here, but there's a lot of people watching. I know that that area around Sykeston is outlaw country. It has an outlaw culture. Great people we've met there. Great people. But man, they're tough people. And you got to earn it with them. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Because when you do what you're supposed to do, that works out. But everybody we've met out there, you got to earn it with them. But when you do, they treat you right, and they're awesome. But because it's got that outlaw culture, there's a lot of tracks around there. Just there's no tech at all. And it can be frightening. And we just can't do that. We cannot do that. for a number of reasons. Ethically, morally, insurance-wise, we cannot do that. So we do have tech. We have full AHRA tech. That said, I know there are some guys who are borderline on the cages in their cars and their safety equipment. If you have, say, for example, an 850 cage and your car, they call it an 850 cage, but that's 535 in the eighth. If your car has that normal type of roll cage, 10 or 12 point bar, halo, A-pillar type of cage, and you think you can go quicker than that 535, you should treat this event like a 535 index. You need to slow it down a little. Now, people who go quick, and yeah, we try to be graceful. Think of it like the speed limit. If the speed limit is 70 and you're doing 72, your odds of being stopped and written a ticket for speeding are incredibly small. But you're still speeding. The cop still could. If you run a 532, your odds of getting a warning for that are incredibly small, but you still could. So I can't tell you a certain amount of grace and if the numbers don't mean anything. Okay, what I can tell you is you should treat it like a 535 index if you're out running your safety equipment. There's a lot of people that reward folks for going faster and faster and quicker. We're trying to reward folks for having the safety equipment that the rule book already says. Now, I know that a lot of tracks, especially up north, this isn't even a thing. You meet the rule book or you're not there. But there is an outlaw culture in the South, and it's cool. And I love these old tracks, these cool little tracks like that. But we do have to have that standard in place. Now, if you do exceed it, and it's considerable, of course, you get a warning. Don't forget, we're going to give you a congratulations on that awesome pass first because we love it. We love fast cars. But the first time's a warning. The second time is, hey man, you got to park it, and you're being a spectator in the best possible way for being too quick and too good, right? So take it, take it as a compliment. But that's what we have to do if you're out running your safety equipment, and hopefully that'll say, hey, you know what? I've built a really quick hot rod here, and I need to do some chassis upgrades, and then you can just turn it loose and I don't know, try to run even quicker than the next break. Basic rules. I get asked this a lot for 28.10.5. So the rules are pretty simple. We wanted to get a really good, robust class before we tried to refine it or divide the class any. Okay. So right now, it's pretty wide open. Steel roof and quarter panels. Tire is limited to 28 by 10.5. No W's. And it's $100 bill buy-in at the track. $100 buy-in, but that class pays more. It's $1,500 to win, $500 to runner up, but it's $100 buy-in, and it's run on an instant green, and we have a chip draw for pairings. All right. Somebody asked me about a qualifier. I said, sure. Let's have a 16-car field this year, and then I think it makes total sense to have a qualifier for next year. Again, it's the people that turn out and the way that what they want to do is going to determine, how we want to invest and spend time and so forth. If we have a really good full field or more, maybe it makes sense to maybe have, a class for the really quick cars and then a class for ones that, have some limitations or streetability or something like that. But right now we need to get a full field. Let's see. And it is run on an instant green. That's the equalizer. I don't want anybody to be blindsided by that and be asleep at the light. Let's see here. What else do I have on my list? So this year we've made an improvement. Last year, in an effort to try to accommodate people, handicap people, I had a handicap portable toilet put down on the far end of the pits. And everybody's like, cool, now I don't have to walk up to the rest of the restrooms. And so that got out of order pretty quick. So this year I've tripled that order, and there's now 3 with a hand wash station, and 1 is handicapped. Hopefully that's going to help. But do remember, as far as the handicap stall goes, I know it's roomy and spacious and whatever, but it's there for a reason. As far as Dizzy, I'm going to paraphrase what Dizzy says here. We did have three guys just real recently finished the race to 500. Michael Yielding, he worked his social media channels where he works and so forth, and he got his 500. Barkley has been working it like a carnival worker at the track every weekend. Sub to the Schmidt Show Garage, and he got lots of subscribers that way, and he did it. He got his 500, and track operator's son, Little Possum, he got his 500. He's been working on it quietly since the 4th of July, doing content at the track and everything, and working his channels and people he knows, and he got his 500. And I got to hand it to him. It's extremely respectable the way those guys operate. Um, he pays his way, he registers, he gets his subs. Um, Man, they follow the rules. Just so much respect, and we respect them. Really respectable people. But with that said, we now have over our par for the No Name 500 every year. We are on average about 70%. That's about how many graduate from the No Name 500 in any given year, and we're slightly over that now. If anyone else makes it, it'll pad that. Now, we still have five of them who was making a run for it. Looks like they're in. That said, if you did not make the No Name 500 this year, come back and try it again in 2025, because we've had several people come back and get it redemption another year. We've had that happen. Numerous people have done it, and it just makes it sweeter when they do. We've got Empire of Rust here. He sneaked in here and somewhat fast. Who's winning this year? That's a great question. You got to come to the event and find out, because I don't know. I know that there are more small tire sharks circling the boat than people realize. Yes, Possum's Garage, great bunch of folks helped him out. Yes, they are. And Possum's Garage, that Possum is the track operator there, and he is really great. Is registration open at the gates? You need to register online. If you absolutely can't do it and have problems with your browser and stuff, you come to the event, we'll get you squared away. But we're not set up to register at the gate. You can't register at the ticket booth. You have to come see me. But ideally, please register online before you get there. If you're determined that you're not going to register until like 5 minutes before you roll in there, pull over on the side of Sandywood and register and come on. Because really, we're not set up to take registration there and have the stuff we need. It all goes in the registration book, and it was very helpful when people register online. Now, spectator tickets are different. Spectator tickets through Sunday, as in day after tomorrow, you can still get a $5 discount on a weekend pass online. But then that will no longer be available online. It will only be at the gate. And the reason for that is I have to compile all of the spectator pass purchases, and then I have to put them in order and on a spreadsheet, and I give that to the ticket booths so they can keep track of it. And I got to cut that off somewhere. So that discount is good through Sunday, and then that comes down. Then you can buy them at the gate. A few have made it trackside. Obviously, get the monkey off your back and just do it. Do it early. But, if you're a few subs short, you can panhandle with a cardboard sign at the gate, and it's all good fun, and it's effective. And Lambert's. RC Industry wants to call out Jason from Indirect Connection. Well, talk to Jason. What's the channel name? 77 runs on jet fuel. Well, my email is on my channel. You can email me there. Empire of Rust says my Plymouth will likely not be operational or legal, so I'll get there in the wrecker hopefully. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, and you've got your 500 subs, so that's cool. Well, anyway, I wanted to give you guys that rundown. Oh yeah, some other miscellaneous things. You guys have always been really good about not littering. You've been exceptionally good about that. But let me tell you, cigarette butts are litter too. And somebody has to go around one at a time and pick all of that up over those 22 acres. And I do not want the staff to have to pick up cigarette butts from any of our participants. So please, please don't leave cigarette butts on the ground. And here's another thing, too. This was not nearly the thing the first year as it was the second year. But now that we've got decriminalized marijuana at the state level, everybody declares it's perfectly legal. Um, Strange. Nobody took that attitude when it came to guns that were legal at state and illegal at federal, but it seems like everybody's taking that with marijuana. I detest it. I get freedom. I get the whole thing. I don't want it anywhere near me in the pit. And it's a family friendly event. Um, yeah, lots of children there and everything else. And a lot of people don't want, people with CDLs don't want that. So, um, if you guys want to enjoy your pot together and have a bonfire in the very back corner back there, like up by the return road and that turnaround, that's the best place for that, but please, I really, I don't know what we'll do with that, but I just don't want to see it, become that way. I know there's just a lot of pot in the pits, and I don't know how much it is, but and it's enough people that it's pretty prevalent. And that's just, I just ask you that because that's, and things that, like, some people don't want to drink alcohol, some people do, but when you drink alcohol, that's just you. When you're putting something in the air, that's everybody around you. So it is a little different. So anyway, I just respectfully ask that. I didn't bully or badger anybody about it last year, and I won't this year, but I ask that. Thank you. Mater says, I wish I was able to make it this year. Well, man, just get your plan together for next year. We look forward to seeing you then. You have approximately 361-ish days. We add that to 365. Yeah, Blake, it's just, there's so many other things. I mean, people that want to just bake all weekend and concerts and everything else, but I would like to see the event have less of that. That's just me, and definitely not in my part of the pits. Thank you. Somewhat fast is listening to some Wham. Right on. I think Cultured Redneck Garage has a grudge match in the works with Sean O'Brien. Cool. Tony, yeah, this is a difficult seat to sit in sometimes because you cannot please all the people all the time. But yeah, I'd be totally down with that. Yeah, Ron English is asking the same things. I will tell you this. So Sunday, after the first No Name Nationals, Larry Jeffers, he came up to Dallas and I in the pits. We were, working up our final accounting, and Larry Jeffers, he said there were two things that he noticed right off that impressed him about our crew. Well, three things. One is how far everybody traveled from. I mean, he's like, the license plates are everywhere. There's people from every corner of this country and Canada in these pits. I'm like, yeah. Two, you ate the concession stand out of everything, which is great. That means they made good money on their concessions, and that's awesome. I want them to do well on their concessions. And three, the pits were completely clean, which was great. Uh, they left it all clean. Blue Ridge Bike Man, you just watching trolling? What's going on, man? Oh, I bet. I'm sure you got a green garden. I can totally see that. Best burgers in an event. Yeah, the concessions are good. It's always jamming. The line is long. Empty concession stand. Yes, indeed. So patronize the concession stands. Do remember, this is the Skelton family who now runs this track, and they have been great to work with. We've worked with them actually all 3 years of this event, but now they are the track operators. Um, so that's who we deal with everything. So it's great. Levi's got good news and bad news. Okay. Smurs 18. Got a lot of new names in the chat tonight. Yeah, Colleen says she's a smoker but refuses to make anybody else. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And also, dogs are welcome. It's a dog friendly event. Love my dog. He'll be there. But I will clean up after my dog. I mean, that's good courtesy, right? And make sure the dog's on a leash if so they don't chase monkey bikes if he does anything like mine. BNR says, I've never thought about secondhand pot smoking has CDL. Yeah, buddy, that's a thing. And it's funny because everybody last year who has a CDL mentioned it to me. So this is not me. This is coming to me from a lot of other. When I say a lot of people, I'm not one of these guys. Oh, one person said it, so I pretend like it's a village. No, I probably had a half a dozen people say it to me who have CDLs. It was surprising. It's something I hadn't thought about until last year. Ron says, do they head to Lambert's with us for the car show? Lambert's, we're going to have one side blocked off. It may be the other side. We'll know when we get there. But we've got that taken care of. So, but yeah, we'll have our car show there, and they always welcome us. And Lambert's is great. Good news. Me and Brooke will be at No Name Nationals, but the Laguna has a 25% chance of making it. Stuck injector. Made the oil thin. Hit the oil safety we had in place. Yikes. Get you an unstuck injector and load her up. Yeah, indirect connection has a CDL. Yeah, that had a lot of folks. I mean, it was at least a half a dozen. Enough that, Yeah, Busted Radial says, he says he wants to wish everyone safe travels and good times, but car deliveries, he's not going to be able to make it. We'll miss you, Chris. Hopefully everything works out for 2025. And you know how that goes. We'll all be a year older. We're not promised tomorrow, but we hope to have a great event in 2025, and we hope you'll be there, you and your family. It is very important to me that No Name Nationals is a family friendly event, because there's a lot of people who they think when it comes to car events, I don't want to be away from the family. But what a lot of people figured out, we had a lot more families there year two than year one, because they realized, hey, this is something I can bring the whole family to. And so it is important to me. And I think that is going to be good for the event going forward into the future. Thumper says it's just an LS. Send it and throw another one in next week. I remember when the small block Mopar was that way. Just send it and get another $75 running 360 and stick in it. Kind of past that now. Yeah, Heavens Mopar says the Charger didn't get as far as he'd like this year. Yeah, a lot of gremlins for Heavens Mopars, but you'll get there, man. You'll get there. Hey, Heavens Mopars, what is your plan to get there this year? What's your itinerary look like for coming in? Busy says takes a bunch of weirdos to make a community. Proud to be a part of it. We certainly have quite a melting pot of people. Heavens Mopar is flying in again. Do we need to come get you? You flying into St. Louis? Levi says we have new injectors on the way. We may just send it. That's the spirit. Well, Chris, we wish you well, man. We'd like to see you there. So hopefully things will work out a little differently 2025. It's all any of us are doing. Just keep moving forward. Thanks for stopping by. My son looks forward to it, right? And the more young people who look forward to it, the better. Because after all, they're going to replace us, right? If they haven't already, we just don't know it. Eclectic sounds better than weirdos. Well, then remember, this is what Dizzy's describing. You can describe us as anything you like. Dust Devil Brian, what's going on, man? Glad you can make it. Gotta love a broken valve spring. Hey, Russell, Hot Rod Guy Garage. I had a radiator blow up out of nowhere on the van today. I think the radiator cap failed. Haven't really looked at it much, but it blew the whole tank forward. The plastic tank is lifted about an inch on the back above the core. It was ugly. Yeah, RC industry. Yeah, you might be able to do that. We can talk about that. I think Mike's got it covered, but yeah. So we'll have light plants. I don't think there's anything else, just anything worth mentioning. As far as the burnout pit, and since Scott's here, Scott reminded me of this. In the burnout pit, I know the track would like enforced better than in years past that we stay behind the barricades. I know everybody wants to film up and over them and get as close to the action as you can, but we can't have that. So we're going to have a pedestrian, like we did last year. We're going to have a pedestrian barrier and a car barrier, and so we just need you to honor that. And if you need to get your cameras up real high to get an even better viewpoint, do it. Think about that. You could bring a ladder. That'd be pretty cool, right? If you want to get that best footage, I think that's what I want to do actually, is have a ladder so I can get the best footage there. But we need you to do that. Also, if you're in the burnout pit, not if you're driving, you need a helmet, by the way. You need a helmet if you're driving. If you're spectating, it's a good idea, especially if you're on the front row, to do some safety glasses. Because especially, there's a lot of stuff that gets little tiny rocks and stuff and wires and lots of stuff get kicked up off of those cars. So I strongly recommend having some safety glasses if you're going to be, or you can do sunglasses if you want. You could do one of those shields for grinding if you wanted to, or whatever. But it would be a good idea. Brian is asking, do you have any contacts and sites in a place that can do a front end alignment Wednesday or Thursday in case I need it? Yeah, I'm sure we can. I'll ask Possum and Barkley. I am sure that they have a go-to place to do it. That said, we could probably get you plenty close enough at the track right there. Levi says they have a spare helmet that's out of date. Yeah, but for burnout, yeah, I'd be fine with that. I don't think that's a big deal for burnout. Yeah, that's fine. So cool. We appreciate that. Oh, also one other thing too, I need to mention. Well, it looks like Stone Soup has made it to Dayton. Is it going to make it to Sykeston? The NSB guys every year have been so gracious to be able to bring us a tire changer. Makes things easier, blown out tires, burnout competition, that kind of thing. That said, they are down one tow rig this year. They're not going to be able to bring the 69 Super B, but they are bringing the Lenko Dart. And so they're going to be there, but they may not have room for it on the truck. So that said, we may not have this year that courtesy of the tire changer. So just saying. Okay, Big Mike asks, he's bringing his 10-year-old grandson, really wants to take a ride down the track, helmet, age limit. No, that, I would imagine we don't want to see infants in car seats and that kind of thing. 10-year-olds should be just fine, especially what you're driving. You should be fine. Does have to have a helmet and the same safety equipment you do. We do have a cutoff on ET for rides, and traditionally that's been 6:30. You start getting cars in the fives, they might not react right with having, more weight on the passenger side than they're used to and that kind of thing. So we don't want rides in the fastest cars, but you got a good, hot street car like what Mike's got there, that's fine. ride-along helmets, yeah, they need to be the same as the car. I mean, so, we can have DOT helmets are acceptable down to a 765. 764 and quick like this up here. 764 and quicker has to have Snell 2015 or newer. And your ride-along would have to have the same. Yeah, so Bad Tree's saying that if you're doing front end alignment, like let's say your car's parked on concrete, if you're trying to set the toe, for example, you're binding against the rubber on the tires when you make the adjustment. And if you put salt underneath of them, it makes like little tiny ball bearings that will help that tire rubber keep from binding while you try to move angles. So yeah, that's a good tip. Mike, if you wind up running quicker to 630 in that Charger, oh my gosh. We'll wonder what that guy did. Where is the real Mike and what did that guy do with him? So B&R's got something going on there with tire pressure. I will say that all reports out of the track is that the track this year is excellent. Last year, because of a lot of factors like the timing being down, not being able to drag it, run it as often, they did more no prep stuff, that kind of thing. Traction was not as optimal last year. The first year was good. The last day was excellent first year. This year, all reports out of Sykeston is the traction is outstanding. And I've heard that from several people running several ETs. I talked to a guy who runs 5 flat today. He said it's outstanding. Those guys all seem to say it's good. So, Engine Light Garage's plastic cutting boards from Dollar Tree. Yeah, those like trays from fast food restaurants work pretty good for some of that too. Andy says, I'm looking forward to this. Andy, do you have any updates for us? Track was good this past. Okay, so Ross was just there. He's saying the track was good this past Saturday. I will say the track is using PJ1, and Possum said that he had a consultant called Track Mass that comes in and helps you figure out exactly what your track needs to be the best it can. So they have really made strides in making that track great. And the track itself is really good. It's nice and smooth, and it is a really good track anyway. There are a lot of 4-second cars that run there. So Dust Devil says, with everyone camping at the track, how late early would you fire up your car if it's loud? I have a feeling that the community will take care of that problem for us. If anybody gets obnoxious, you'll probably get an earful from whomever you woke up. So use your common sense there. I'm going to try to be functioning, running around on the grounds by 7 a.m. every day and leave at 11 every day. That's usually what I do. Sean O'Brien, there's going to be all kinds of people streaming videos, everything, everywhere. I'll probably be doing some streaming too. 6% recycles, having a Cerakoted ratchet. Those commemorative ratchets are pretty cool that he does. I got trophies in hand now. They look awesome. It's going to be good stuff. We do have a few new things for this year. You'll see the awards kind of evolve a little every year, and this year's no exception. Colleen says early bird gets the worm, 7 a.m. Hey, 7 a.m. that's you know what? So that's a great time to stroll around the pits a little bit there because it's daylight, it's plenty warm enough. You'll see, especially Saturday morning, because you'll have all these cars with tire carcasses just shredded on them, sitting everywhere. All the flat tires looks like Jonestown the morning after in the pits. I've got pictures from it from last year. It's pretty wild. Uh, but it's peaceful, and you see a few early risers going out, and you see them walking back and forth, over to the shower house and whatnot, and speak to them, and people getting their coffee and stuff. But that early morning is a good time to get out and just take a look around because it's not as busy and rambunctious as it is middle of the day. Andy says, I'm doing some trailer maintenance tomorrow, and other than that, I'm ready to head. Okay, cool. Although, are you going to Michigan or Missouri? I'm assuming Missouri. But we look forward to seeing you there, Andy. You've you have fought and fought and fought with Casper for years now, so we'll really be looking forward to seeing you and the truck there this year. Vic says 7 a.m. is his bedtime. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just picking on you, Andy. We'll be glad to see you here. We'll be glad to see you. Mr. Rodder's neighborhood is lurking. Anybody have any other questions? I just wanted to get a lot of the administrative stuff out of the way as best we could. Just some other miscellaneous things that'll help you. Number one, Dallas and I, the first year, well, probably both years, but the first year especially, we were sunburned. We looked like just like leather after a week in that sun. You really don't forget your sunscreen. Don't forget like extra pairs of socks just for all that walking you'll do. Have cash on you. It's handy. We're going to have a merch table. We're going to have t-shirts, banners, and we're going to have hats this year for the first time. Thank you, LC Chapel. I appreciate that. Look forward to meeting you too. You still coming down? Uh, but not only will we, a lot of channels do too. They have channel merch there. And again, they're, unlike other events that want to shepherd the merch thing so they can make the money, we're not like that. Bring cash with you because you might want to buy some of these other channels shirts and hats and swag. And that's great. Do it. This event is for you guys. Tony's Hot Rod Garage says we're going to have lots of cool merch for sale. Yes. And by the way, Tony's Hot Rod Garage there, his company does channel merchandise for a lot of channels. Really good stuff. In fact, he did this shirt I'm wearing right now. But check him out. He does channel merch for a lot of channels. Gunslinger Graphics. If one of the mods, Tony, you can put it up yourself if you like. Just pop it up on here and go check him out. Oh, that, and also too, if you do happen to want to order any No Name National stuff, anything, let me know if you want that shipped, because if you're coming to the event, you may not get it before the event. But if you order online before the event, I'll make sure to, and you're going to be there, I'll mark it for you and save it. That way you're guaranteed we won't sell out of it. But that said, you wouldn't, you won't have shipping costs. That's a nice plus. Itinerary again, yeah, it's top of the hour, so I think it's worth going through that. Thursday, we're going to have tech all day on Thursday. Gates will be open Wednesday for long haulers to come in. And of course, people will be coming in all day Thursday. But we're going to have tech open 8 o'clock in the morning. If you're there, get in tech line early to help alleviate that line because it gets really thick in the afternoon. And we want everybody to get through tech so that we can cruise to Lambert's. I want to bump the cruise up for Lambert's again, 5 p.m. this year. I think it's helpful. And yeah, so we'll have our cruise to Lambert's then. I've got a neat little announcement at Lambert's. So for those of you hardcore No Name Nationals community fans, you may want to be there. That's all I'll say. After that, we're going to have our group photo 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Be ready. We're going to do them in blocks of 20 with the car numbers again. If you are already registered right now, you'll get your numbers back from last year. If you're not, I cannot guarantee it, but I'll try. If you have not yet registered yet, the registration link is pinned at the top. All that said, group photo at 9. Then we're going to get the track cleaned off and ready. and go hot. Then that's going to be test and tune, all of that. You can do call outs, match races, whatever you want to do there. But the bracket will be in the afternoon, the Friday bracket. Uh, we're going to have time trials. You know, you can get all the testing in you want. People are probably going to break stuff on Friday, and so if you got something you think is just it might grenade. Well, you know, we'd rather you not oil the track down if you can help. But if you do, you do. At least get it over with early so that we can fix it before the bracket. Bracket will be the afternoon. Hopefully, bracket finals will be by 6 o'clock. We have an hour to set up, 7 p.m. approximate start time for burnout competition on the top end. Come out for that. It's a lot of fun. Do remember, too, when you're driving, be it burnout or racing on the track, either one, this is for cars, monkey bikes, everything. You may not be under the influence when you're driving. Okay. So there's a lot of people that, are, have a beer, drinking a beer in the burnout spectator area. That's fine, but not if you're driving in it. So don't get started quite that early if you're participating in the pit. But after that, yeah, you do whatever you want to do. The Saturday morning depends on the schedule, how late things run. Uh, we don't have a curfew there, but if they wind up cleaning up the top end, because I'm telling you, that burnout pit was just pure carnage. I just, if people saw the thickness of the pile of rubber, balled up rubber that Barkley was running a sweeper pushing off that track, it's like what they would think it was like a mulch truck. They would never think that all came off of tires. It was unbelievable. So it takes a while to clean that up. So, but as soon as that's done on Saturday morning, get the track touched up, go hot again. Same thing, test and tune, call outs, matches mixed in. But do remember the 28-10-5 guys, some of those guys will probably have run the bracket on Friday and put their tune in differently for the heads up on Saturday. And it'll be a little different. We want to have another bracket Saturday morning of some kind. Talk about that one. We're going to do a little bit different bracket, but it's not going to be a bracket for the heavy hitters because they can't switch their tune back and forth between the two. But we do want to have more opportunity for some racing on Saturday morning. That said, our 28-10-5 field is bigger this year than ever. It's what it's looking like. Last year, the burnout competition was the field that kind of stole the show in size. And this year, it's looking like the heads up cars are going to steal the show in size of field. But of course, we don't know who's really going to do it till it happens. And monkey bikers are, man, they're quicker than ever. They got their new rules in place. Let's see what they do. Monkey bike eliminators on Saturday also. All right, now I'll catch up. And Scott says Scott with an S needs a rental to get returned on all tires. Big Mike says lots of prizes in the tower for giveaways. Cool. Will there be any outlet power if I don't own a generator? Unfortunately, power is in rare supply there. There's only one place that has a power takeoff, and I can't guarantee the track isn't using that for something. So don't count on having power. That said, there will probably be lots of folks there who have generators, and this community is all, it really helps people out. So you probably won't have problem finding someone running a generator to let you plug into it, but I don't know what to tell you on that as far as the track. RT211 says Skelton has their track merch there if you want. That's cool too. Yep. I think that's probably changed and increased from last year since the Skeltons are running it. There's the link to Tony's company there, Gunslinger Graphics. Go check him out. Good quality stuff too. Tony doesn't do anything that's bad quality. His workmanship, the shirts he makes. This is embroidered. This is really good stuff. So, are you bringing any banners? Yes, I'll have banners at the event. This is what I ship them in. But there we go. Heavens Mopar's not taking my chances on killing a rental car. Oh, come on, man. How much they have insurance, right? Oh, I don't know. Whatever you do, we'll see what happens. You know, it also brings up something else too. If if you're able, we're probably going to need some more volunteers to help run the No Name Nationals merch table. So if you can volunteer a shift here and there to help with that, that would be helpful. Uh, that would be appreciated. The gig comes with a really highly popular sweet guard dog too. Is there a place to get firewood? I'm sure there is, but you know, a lot of places, campgrounds and states do not allow you to bring your own firewood for a reason. They don't want um, like wood borers and any invasive anything coming with firewood from out of the area. So I'm sure there is. I don't know off the top of my head. Mayor Possum will know. I will find out. My wife would kill me if I broke a rental. No, stop, correction. Your wife would kill you if you told her you broke a rental. She would kill you if she knew you broke a rental. And you can do a lot to a rental before you break it. Don't ask me how I know. It's like, is she coming? Y'all figure that out. I think this is interesting. She'd be bored. I don't know what boredom is. Really, I don't. Boredom is something I just cannot understand. Man, there is so much cool stuff all around you in life and in the world. How can you be bored? Man, I've never had that problem being bored with stuff. Dust Devil says, have plenty of gas in your car for the picture. Don't ask me why I brought this up. Yeah, you won't have to. I'll tell on him. So Dust Devil Garage is the only person who's ever run out of gas in the group photo. But we think it's because the car is jacked up so high in the back that he didn't realize it takes a lot just to even reach the pickup. It's the only event, I'm sure, in the history of ever where a Cushman roadside service vehicle delivered gas to a car on the track to get it off the track. I'm sure that's never happened anywhere else. Blue Grit Garage, I will have to see. We will see if it's been taken or not. I don't know off the top of my head. If anybody in here has 66 and has already renewed, you can say, but I don't know off the top of my head. NSB says, is there no glass bottle rule to track? I don't know of one. I will say, you know, obviously don't give broken bottles in the pits, but I've not heard of a glass bottle rule there. I don't know. It's a good question. Cave Dave sneaked in. How's it going, man? Big Mike says, I'll basically have my shop there. Big Mike is always on it. NSB says he's been testing Tony's merch out for a couple months. It's all top notch. Yes, it is. He is top notch. His stuff is top notch. Evans Mopars and Turbo Tom will have stickers to give out this year. Right on. Mrs. Street Machine says I can volunteer a few hours. That will greatly appreciate it. It would be great to have some help with shirts and such like that. Uh, my mom does that every year, and this year should probably be good to have a little bit more help and relief. Big Mike is going to have a third annual No Name Nationals banner. I'd like to have all the participants sign, just like the last 2 years. So know that Big Mike has it and go to his pit. Turbo Tom, I don't have the ability to do that right now because I'm working off of my phone to stream for this particular stream. So I'm not able to. Wait a minute, though. I was thinking on the screen. I don't have to. I don't have to because I can do better than that. I can actually have that right here. I didn't even think about that. Let's see here. 113. Sign it again. Yeah. This is Turbo Tom's sticker. I forgot I had 3 of them here. Isn't that cool? Isn't that the coolest logo? And when I do I got a new board I'm going to put in right here. It'll be on it. That's super neat, though. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I had that other envelope of stickers right here by my desk. Bad Tree Blake, peace out. See you Wednesday. We'll see you guys. Just Mopar Joe comes in. He says, all right, Mopar people, y'all finished getting me your Mopar roll call videos. So if you have seen, Joe has every year has done a Mopar roll call. If you have a channel and you run Mopar stuff, Joe is looking for a clip for this. Joe can give you details. RT211 says, I don't know if they have no bottles posted to the track, but I've never seen anyone with bottles to the track. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, RT211. I can't place seeing that. Ron says, no glass and no dog poop. I don't care if there is glass and dog poop as long as the glass doesn't get broken on the parking lot or on the track and the dog poop gets picked up. But that said, if Possum says no, but I don't know any rule. Yeah, Joe. Diecast Streams Customs is Mopar people now, Joe. Dizzy says, carrying laundry basket, my right hip said no and fell down 3 steps. Oh my gosh. Well, take care of yourself. Andy says it's nitrous, Joe. Mr. Rotter says, don't forget your community cookout food. So Saturday night, so Friday night, obviously, the burnout competition. There's still a lot of people cooking Fridays, concession stands. Thursday, we go to Lambert's. Saturday night, though, a lot of people stick around and don't make their trek back until Sunday morning. And Dallas, this is his thing, the community cookout. So, bring your stuff. It's like a big potluck. Ron says, who else is on vacation? Not me. That is a working week. Joe says, looking forward to seeing y'all soon. Indeed. Always looking forward to seeing Joe too. But Joe is a popular man at the No Name Nationals, as you can imagine. Cave Dave says I was running 100 miles an hour at the last one. It was crazy busy. Crazy busy. So Mrs. Street Machine says, do you have details on the community cookout? Dallas, if you want to tell people a little All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot to do one of the most important things today, which is plug my phone in before I stream from it. Oh my gosh. What a day. All right, I see Slant Daly's joined the chat. Straight to my camera. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't even think to plug it in. Did pretty good. You think about it. Dust Devil asks, "What is an EMP? I need to stop watching prepper videos." An EMP is something I'm just not remotely worried about, but ironically, I have the cars to survive it if it happens. I think we all do. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I will admit it. Thumper, you did not miss me, and you know it. Tony, yes, it was pretty funny. Didn't plug my phone in. I almost got away with it too. Must have more charge than I normally roll with. One-eyed cat. We'll be cooking a venison roast back by the woods. Mr. Rotter's neighborhood says, I brought short ribs the first year. Ron Ward brought sausages. Many participants, yes. I'll tell you, Ron Ward, he is all about that thing. He's the community cookout guy. Finished project forgot to remind me. Yes, he usually reminds me when I don't have my phone charged up, but we both were really busy today. That's because I have points to the condenser, yes. I've been trying to contact you about the extended warranty on your phone. Oh, I didn't give him any flack for running out of gas. I mean, it was just funny. Gonna run out of gas, that's the place. Big Mike says, I smoked a wild hog shoulder last year. Dizzy was cooking out too. Yeah, Dizzy brought baby back ribs. Whole pot got eaten. Yeah, yeah. There's always a lot of food going around. I think Wendy there did macaroni and cheese. Yeah, there we go. Wendy's making another batch. Cool. Any of you guys have any questions or anything? I tried to do a rundown on anything here specific. Uh, if you have anything, let me know. Because this is the last live stream before the No Name Nationals this year. This is it. So we've got 5 days and 2 hours and 41 minutes. And yeah. And then we have what is sort of an off season. And we will try to announce 2025 by the last Friday of the year. Typically what we do. 113 Cycles asks, who was making cookies last year? Jackie made cookies. So Jackie Abbott, most of the old parts and Russ, Patrick's wife, is an amazing baker, and she made cookies last year. And I was fortunate enough to get to try one of every flavor because I was so busy I didn't get to try them the first year. So the second year, I got to try one of every flavor, and they are out of this world. Blue Grid, do you have an event schedule posted anywhere? No, I would actually, if today had not been such a calamity, I would have had it up on my community tab. It's what I did last year, so I'll get it put up. I'll have schedules to gate, actually, but what I've told everybody here is about what we do. And the schedule isn't even that hard in stone because, you have an oil down, parts breakage, rain, all of that stuff is subject to change anyway. But I've just told you basically what we're going to have. You can't depend on any of those to the minute. It's not possible. Prizes for each class, so the payouts are pretty good. I mean, I don't want people to be incentivized as much by the payouts. I just want to reward people for participating. But 28-10-5 is $100 buy-in, $1,500 to win, $500 for runner-up. The bracket on the Friday bracket pays $500 to win. Monkey Bike has $100 to win, but that's because most people participating in Monkey Bike are participating in the other classes too. Burnout competition pays $500 to win. We have pretty good payouts. And the awards are good this year too. So we have. I don't want to talk too much. You'll see them when you get there. There are some changes. There's some familiar things. We will once again have a star traveler for people who travel the farthest distance. Whomever travels the farthest distance, and we prioritize people who bring a car the longest distance over people who just say fly in. That is a component of it too, but we weigh that out, right? Um, but we have that award. We're going to have low ET. We're going to have top speed. Um, I have a whole list of the awards, but I don't have it handy. It's probably on my phone up there. But we do have a couple new things. We've got People's Choice again. We have a Best Engineered. Professor P has an award he's doing. Actually, several channels have awards they do too, and they present them as well. 38 says, I hope the track didn't have much damage from these recent storms. You know what? That crew down there can probably handle whatever and take care of what they need. I will say that early in the week, RT211 is the one traveling from the shortest distance. I like that. They're going to have rain earlier in the week at Sykeston, and hopefully it gets it all out of its system, and then we'll have wonderful weather all weekend. And right now, that's what it's looking like. Perfect weather. Perfect. Best overdrive with trans brake goes to Cope. Okay. We'll see about that. Sean O'Brien's in St. Louis, which is certainly close enough. He says it shouldn't be bad because we didn't get hard in St. Louis. That's cool. BNR says it'll come back after first pass. Yeah, so if you've not been on a track before, we're going to do a track walk on Thursday, and it's probably going to be Thursday evening after Lambert's, because even though people are tired and they've eaten and all that, we'll have a lot more people there. There's a lot of people. I've come to realize there's a lot of people who dash to get there just in time to go to Lambert's. So, try to accommodate the best we can. Yeah, so Jonathan Reed brings up a good point here. Remember to thoroughly clean out under your cars. This is the big one, though. There's grass in the middle, right? There's a patch of grass right in the middle of the burnout pit. And it's fair game. You can get in that grass. We don't care. But if you do, just remember grass, balled up rubber, the debris from that, you don't want that coming out on the track the next day. So I would encourage everybody to clean out under your car anyway. But if you're in the burnout competition, especially, take care of that Saturday morning or Friday night before you get out on the track. These guys work hard to give us a good track, and we want to keep any stuff from getting on it that shouldn't be. Yeah, the weather should be fantastic. It should be great. It's great every year. We've had great weather every year. So yes, good point. I never remember everything. It's just not possible. But I do have a list that's stuff that's important to me. Don's is clean. Don's car has come a long way. That guy's really worked hard to make his car better and better, and cleaner and safer and just better all the way around. Don is one of many people who set a great example for this event, and lots of you guys do. In fact, Friday nights are where you find the great example folks with good attitudes, and you get your stuff done with tech, and it's very much appreciated. So when Don can do it, like, hey, you know what? Don can do it. I can do it too. I'm gonna get my stuff together and cleaned up to pass tech too. Don has a great attitude. It's a winning attitude. $113 says, plan on being there Thursday midday. Anything I can help with? We'll certainly let you know. So we got I will put one another word out. Probably Thursday, midday. We're going to have a sand barrel filling party again, and we were not able, because of soaring prices the last couple of years. They've gone way up. We were not able to get a permanent guard wall on I think it's the south side of the burnout pit. Not this year. Next year, very well may. Couldn't quite pull it off this year. However, we must have a barrier. So we're going to yet again do a temporary barrier. We're going to fill sand barrels, and Roadrunner's bringing them. I'm going to have 30 there. About 20 are already filled, and we're going to need guys to bring shovels. Bring a shovel for sand. We have plenty of sand in the sand pit, but we're going to need some volunteer help. And so these things are probably 4 feet high, and there's big mounds of sand off to the left side of the sand trap, Sykeston Beach, and these things are going to be on pallets. Ron was the sand barrel filling champion yesterday. Yes, he was. Ron is like that. Ron will help you do anything. He's good like that. Of course, both those English guys are just, they're just top notch people. That's what they do. They're just nice like that. But I'll let you guys fill them. I'm sure this year I'll have the fun of unloading them all. Sykeston is the official home. It's been the home for the past 3 years, and we love that place. And everything is working good. We don't want to fix something that isn't broken, do we? We figured out the easy way. Well, just having a lot of people there is a huge help. But we're going to do that again. I really think that next year is a really good chance we're going to have a permanent guard wall on the one side. And then what we'll do is we'll have to just figure out whatever is the most efficient temporary thing to do on I guess that's the west side, if I'm thinking properly, which is to block off the end of the track. I mean, you wouldn't have to block off nearly as much, but we're trying to create as much viewing area as possible for spectators. So 2 sides stay open. That would be, the woods and the beach. Big Mike says, I have my official light plant transport team shirt ready. That's right. There are only 3 of those. And you had to be a participant in light plant transport to get one. It is an awesome place. It really is. Nice facilities, 22 acres. The pits are very flat. Good people there running it. It's a good location. It has what we need. The Lamberts is a dinner venue. The drive there is perfect. That track just has what we need. Yeah, but here's the thing, man. We'll have all kinds of time. We just knock it out. Just knock it out and get it done. The thing about doing transport is you got to have the proper size hitch ball. I think it's 2-inch. You have to have a driver's license and insurance on your car to transport. And knowing Dawn, I would say all of that is in order. So talk with Mike. Work it out. That's fine. How did you empty the sand barrels? Oh my gosh. So Dallas was running a lull, and he would pick them up and he would bring them to the edge of the beach. And then I had to walk each one of those things off the pallet and get it turned over. But then once you turn it over, you got to pull it back and get it out from under the sand to where you can finally tip it up and empty it out. It's a lot of work, but it's better than shoveling the barrels out. That'd kill you. I'm pretty sure it's 2. Mike would know for sure, but I'm thinking it's 2. And I should have a hitch this year too. Problem is I can't get them until after 1 o'clock on Friday. There's a window to get them between like 1 and 4, and 1 and 4 on Friday. There is no way I can get away to do that. That's just, if you were to ask me what's the worst time to sneak away from the No Name Nationals to do something with a vendor, it will probably be right then. Big Mike's confirming too. I just want to because I can. I've actually got a pretty good picture of Mr. Haney towing a light plant from last year, and uh, I don't know if anybody's ever done a burnout with a light plant until Cope did, but I've got that video too. Look at that little mini spider web on my light there. Didn't know I had that. Is there a way to hook the bottom of the sand barrels? I don't know. The thing is, the sand is so heavy and the plastic's kind of flexy. I wouldn't want to tear them up or break them. They do pretty good, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to tear them up. They're not too bad. I got to tell you though, two people to flip those things up would be easier. I usually do it though on Sunday, and it's no problem. We got time. We can, Mr. Rotter, I was the plant dude in 2022. Yes, he was. So the first year at No Name Nationals, we dealt with a different vendor for light plants because I did not yet know of the vendor we work with now. And we had a crazy experience. And then we found out about a nice local non-franchise guy there in Sykeston, Mike's Reynolds. And Mike is great. He treats us great, great service. Your reservation's ready. He's awesome. So of course we worked with him again this year. And we've developed good relationships with the vendors over there. We've got Mike, we've got At Your Service, the pallet lady, uh, got a guy who moves sand for us if we need it. We've got lots of good vendor relationships in that community, which is great. That's what this community is all about, and they're an extension of what we do. Jim's Fastback Garage. So you were on the road today, right? Hauling some stone soup or chasing or whatever. However y'all did that. No, the weather's really good. It's cool to sleep. It's not bad at all. I would take that weather anytime. I like hot weather anyway, but it's good. It's good weather. Dizzy did asphalt work for 30 years. Yeah, you got to learn to deal with heat to do that. That's for sure. So yes, Jeff wants to get out early so he can make some shakedown runs in the rail. Yeah, that's no problem. We've already talked about that BNR. Jeff's going to be there with his front engine dragster. If you guys have not yet seen that, uh, our friend Jeff at 2X Garage has built. He used an existing car, took it down to just a piece of the cage, and has rebuilt it all from there. It's got a new chassis cert, so that's how much of it he rebuilt. But he's built a really cool nostalgia, a retro type front engine dragster. He'll be debuting at the No Name Nationals. You don't want to miss that. Heaven's Mopars kind of sleep in the bucket of the lift. That's the great place, but no, unfortunately. That lift belongs to Larry Jeffers, and he has relocated it now that there is new track management there. So that was not part of the deal, apparently. Bring a sombrero. Professor P does. Here's a link with Jeff's dragster. Dizzy says, I put down tons of new asphalt. Now I get to tear it up. Dragster sweet. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Uh, Custom sign painter up in Indiana did the lettering on it. And it's running a small block Chevy on methanol and front engine. And it is cool. Let me tell you, I don't think Jeff sleeps literally probably 3 hours a night, 2.5 to 3 hours a night for real. That guy never stops. He is a ball of energy. And he built that dragster. He got it done. Jeff gets it done. And I think he's bringing both the dragster and his 68 T-Bird. If you've not seen that, check out the 68 T-Bird. 521-inch big block Ford. Cool car. Jim's Fast Pack Garage says those tires on Stone Soup left something to be desired. I've not seen them. Dougster is here. Professor P, thanks for coming by. Is there anything that we're forgetting? This is our last stream to do logistics before the third annual No Name Nationals. And then we're going to have an off season, and I'm going to do some fun and cool stuff in the off season. I definitely want you guys to tune in for. And then hopefully by the last Friday of 2024, we can announce the No Name Nationals for 2025. Big Mike says, like I've heard you say before, if you want something done, you have to ask someone who's busy. That is correct. People who have lots of time have lots of time for a reason. This year, the 660 Saloon will be open, which is on the property. Just to recap a few things that'll help. There are shower houses on the property. Most people camp. I would say slightly more than half camp, but there's also great hotels too. I can recommend anywhere except the what is that? Is it the Budget Inn? I can't remember. There's one. I think that's the one that we don't recommend. Uh, did you go over Cage Search? Yes, I did, and I'll go over that too. Steve Duncan says Dart Sport. Well, it's welcome here. I don't know what the big deal is, but anyway, Steve Duncan. I think that Unfinished Project may have been the very first person in the automotive community your buddy there banned. So anyway, yeah, but Dart Sport is always welcome here, and it's talking about my Dart Sport. If you don't know that, by the way, did you go over Cage Search yet? So just in general, um, not necessarily the certification as much as the cage you have to have. If you are going to be running the heads up class or any class and you're going down into fives, if your car is capable of running 520s, teens, O's, 490s, you're going to need to treat this like a 535 index, because when you break out, you get a warning, and then your next one, you've got to park it. We just can't have people willfully outrunning their safety equipment. Jim's asking me if I'm anywhere in Gordonsville, Virginia. No, I don't think so. Is that Northern Virginia? I'm in southwestern part of the state, in Christiansburg, which is near Virginia Tech. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, she doesn't want to camp this year, going to a hotel. The Drury is probably the nicest. The pear tree there next to it is very nice also. I have stayed at the Best Western many times. We'll probably stay there again this year, because the only thing I don't like about the Drury is that their dog policy is outrageous. It's $50 per day. That's nuts. I'm not doing that. I mean, because I'm there a week. That would add, $350 to my stay. And for what? My dog's never torn up anything. He'll tear up a soda bottle if it hits the ground, I'll tell you that. But I mean, he doesn't tear up stuff. But that's what they want for that, so can't do it. So I've stayed at the Best Western, where it's, a deposit. It's like $25 one day, one time, something like, which is reasonable. I can handle that. So Dawn says she's camping. Don't let her fool you. We will be vacationing there. Yeah, a lot of people, this is their vacation. And let everybody likes to come out and have fun. I look forward to it, even though it's an enormous amount of work. I look forward to it. It's not vacation for me, uh, but it's a lot of fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's so much fun getting to be with all of you guys. I mean, that was really the reason to have the No Name Nationals, is because I knew there was no way I could live long enough in a natural lifetime to get to meet all of you guys. So this was the way to do it. Sean O'Brien says he's camping. Yeah, right on. It's a good place to camp. You're going to camp, and the weather is very nice. Good sleeping weather. It's not too hot at night. 38 says work is having issues with the timing of my No Name Nationals vacation. Well, I'm sure you told them about it really, really early, though. Thumper says this event gets me out of the house for a while. Right on. We're looking forward to seeing you, Thumper. Ron gets 10 days vacation. He's burning 7 of them. I hear that. Cultured Redneck is commuting because he's just over Paducah, Kentucky. He's not that far away. Brazil says way late to the show tonight, guys. Well, glad you could stop by. Just talking about all the little administrative things that one needs to get together before making a trip from wherever you're coming from. Are you bringing the tire for Jethro? Maybe. I got to make sure I have a good place for him, though. Uh, Man, there's a lot he can get into. I would hate to be playing with him out in the field and a monkey bike go by and he chase it or something. So I got to be careful how I work that out. But the big thing I'll probably bring for him is a couple of sticks. All right. 113. See you soon. Yeah, Joe. Thanks for coming by, man. You'll see us in Sykeston. We're going to see if Joe can. He's going to try to reclaim his bracket championship from the first year. Take it back from T. T is defending. We've got a whole lot of people who'd like to see both of them leave empty-handed. Top Hat F350. I've seen you over in Rich's chat. I click on that and look at it every now and then. Of course, I've been blocked for years, so it's just kind of amusing sometimes. T's Good Time Garage says, "See you, Joe." Those two are gonna make some good racing. That's for sure. Have to designate a monkey bike free zone. Maybe. Tell you what, he saw some motorcycles in traffic. I was in traffic today and a motorcycle was coming the other way. It was across the intersection from me. And he was sitting behind me in the van and jumps up on the top of the seat, barking over my head at that bike. He didn't miss one. This is one-eyed cat. He has an abundance. He is great. He's got his tire, his rope. Uh, his favorite thing are the sticks that he has, like a 6-foot long stick off an apple tree or something. Perfect. Unfinished project is currently unloading a truck of kittens. NSB, if I don't make it to the bracket this year, I'm going to throw a fit. I hear that. You can do it. Wouldn't that be something if NSB were to win the bracket with Elenco? That would be a story. They just let that dumpster fire go, man. He could have been having fun with us next week, but wasn't to be. Ninja Cats, indeed. Lars has been an enormous help to me this year. Gosh, the list of people to thank. That's the hard part about making a list of people to thank at the No Name Nationals is there's so many. You don't want to leave anybody out, but you really want to thank everybody you can by name, and it's not easy. We just couldn't do this without the support of this whole community. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Jeff making passes in that rail. I don't believe that thing will ever have made a pass until right there in Sykeston Friday morning. Mr. Rodder's got his kids. Bedtime, I take it. See you, Dallas. I'll see you next week, man. Looking forward to it. Going to be a bustling field in 28-10-5. Colleen saying leave a like. Hey, I appreciate that. I just enjoy being here with the community. So I'm never trying to game it for likes or views, and I never like saying, and ring the bell for post notifications. That's not what this channel does. The only people I ask for subs for example, are people who are running the No Name 500, and I just let all the rest of that stuff sort itself out. Imagine that. I'm using YouTube for what it was made to be used for, which was sharing, Imagine that back in the day before it was about money or fame and it was about community. Colleen, this community is fantastic, and I'm really honored to be able to just be a part of it. Dexter says my friend once won a bet he couldn't take his wife to dinner across town in his Lenco Chevelle stop and go traffic. Yeah, you could do it to win a bet, but yeah, it would suck. Yeah. If you really want to drive a Lenco on the street, they make one called the Jeffco, and it's actually synchronized so that you can drive it on the street. Is the big blue wagon going to be there? I don't know what wagon that would be. Yeah, it does, Devil. You know what? I appreciate all of you that do what you do. I just want to, block this time aside for you guys on Fridays. I love getting to come and hang out with you. Hope I can offer something of value occasionally. And hopefully this helped answer some questions and tie up loose ends for your travels to the No Name Nationals. And I let all that other stuff just take care of itself. Um, that's just, and that's great. If people want to do this for those other reasons, if they want to do it for money and fame and likes and attention and validation or whatever it is they want to do it for, more power to them. Commercial enterprises or whatever. I just want to be able to have this way to hang out with you guys, because this is the only way I can hang out with all of you and at the same time. And then once a year we get the treat of getting you all in one spot in person in Missouri once a year. And so to me, that's just what YouTube is all about for me. Artemis, I haven't a clue. I think Jay might be there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Unfinished Project has the first YouTube video ever made. Is that the video at the zoo? Because that's a pretty famous video. Thank you for being here, Ryan. We appreciate you. You got a great attitude, and we appreciate you very much. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says we're all family now. You guys are you're my friends. I mean, you guys are like family. You're my friends, and that's why tech is so important to me, because I tell them, I say it's bad enough to see a racer you don't know have a big wreck or something like that. It's worse when you know it's a friend of yours, and it's even worse if you let that friend down because you wanted to be outlaw and not have tech. I know full well there are cars that would have come to our small tire race and are not, because they know they can't pass tech and they have lots of options where they're allowed to run anyway. That's up to them and their conscience and what they can do. I'm all for the freedom to make your own decisions and that kind of thing, but we don't offer that here. Here you've got to pass tech, and we stand by that. And the thing is that all of you guys and your awesome attitudes, you do it, and you do get your stuff together, and we appreciate it. You're all setting a great example for everybody, especially young people. So just remember, there's a lot of people watching you that you don't know, and you're making a difference with them. One-eyed cat's asking if Buck is doing live tomorrow. I believe, I'm not going to answer for him. Buck is in here, but I believe he is, and I'm supposed to have lunch with Buck tomorrow. So whenever he rolls through here, so that's become a tradition, and I greatly enjoy it. I I had to draw a line in the sand because the first year with No Name Nationals, we were trying to get a lot of folks who were just trying to get their cars to a better standard. Because most states do not have state inspection, right? And and that's okay. I really don't think we should either. I think it'll sort itself out. It's not like you have just mass calamity on Tennessee roads versus Virginia roads. I mean, when you drive through Bristol, it's not like there's a pileup on one side and not on the other. It's nonsense. But we're trying to get people get their stuff caught up. So the first year we were dealing with a lot of things like broken windshields, seat belts, wheel studs, overflow cans, etc. The next year we everybody tightened up and you guys rose to the occasion. We asked that you improve things a little bit and you did. And this year, because we're starting to attract faster cars, we're now having to get into make sure your cages are up to snuff and that kind of thing. And this is good. You have to be the change you want to see. And you guys are being that change you want to see. And I think it's wonderful because your cars are safer as a result. You are safer as a result. The people you're running are safer as a result. And so far, not trying to jinx anything, No Name Nationals has a stellar safety record, and we want to keep it that way. Oh, another reminder too, we have a little bit of time here. Don't forget, you cannot run antifreeze on the track. Have your cooling system drain, put water in it for the duration of the event. They have drain pans, but drain your antifreeze. If you want to make sure it stays really nice and clean so you can put it right back in, bring your own. Drain pans are cheap, won't take you but a few minutes to do. But antifreeze getting on the track is the hardest thing to clean up. And it is slick and it can cause a big wreck and it'll keep the track down for a long time. You don't want to get under your tires. It's not going to be anywhere near cold enough to freeze. You don't have to worry about that. But please drain your antifreeze and water wetter. Yeah, I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who are old school about that. We don't know what's in that stuff, and I get that. But the it has to be non-glycol based. It cannot be glycol based. That's what makes it hard to clean up and slippery and oily. So the glycol free coolants for race cars, I say those are okay. The biggest problem with those, though, is they make antifreeze in so many different colors because of these factory additive packages, is it makes it hard to distinguish. And here's the thing, I don't want somebody to lie and just say that because they don't want to drain their antifreeze. That's a reckless thing. That's a violation of trust, and it's reckless to do that to your friends whom you're racing. And we just don't ever want to be in the newspapers for the wrong reasons. So let's do it right. And if you think about it, the fact that you do that every year for No Name Nationals, if nothing else, means you're doing good cooling system maintenance, which is nice, right? That's a nice side benefit. Change it out before you leave. Yeah, easy. It's easy. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. It just has to be glycol free. Wendy says it's my birthday and our anniversary weekend. Yep, the Englishes celebrate their anniversary at Notre Dame Nationals every year. I think that's cool. Busted Radio Garage Chris says if unfinished project shows up, he'll pay $20 for the first picture. Get in line. Well, see, the thing is, it won't be hard to get a picture of him. It'll be hard to know it's him in the picture. That's what I predict. Oh, goodness. Weather does look great for the event. Yes, indeed. The weather's fantastic right now. The forecast is great. There's going to be some rain early in the week, like Monday, Tuesday, right in there, just like last year. And then the weather was great last year. So hopefully that weather pattern is just the same. I'd be thrilled. Had a little bit of rain before the event, and it was great. To me, in my opinion, you just can't even ask for better weather than we have because it's nice and cool to sleep. Uh, it's nice during the day. It's just nice weather. Take it. I know Cope, I'm not speaking for him, he may be in here hanging out. He says the No Name Nationals is the end of summer. So it's kind of like the last hurrah for summer, last summertime event. And then it's fall. And I would tend to agree with that. I'm starting to see the maple trees here. You see some red leaves on the end, and kind of late for any fruit that might still be out. This is it for summer. Johnny Mopar, what's going on? What's up, No Name peeps? You know, Johnny Mopar, you could come out to No Name Nationals one year. It's worth the hike. Need to see a little convoy coming out from the West Coast. If Unfinished Project collects his chocolate chip walnut cookies, I'll take a picture. Good luck with all that. We almost thought we had him captured at Chrysler's at Carlisle's a few years ago, but he was just too sneaky. New Guy's Garage, what's happening? Glad to see you. One of these days, one of these years, I would put it on the calendar, make it happen. We'd like to see you. I'd like to see you in person. You might even have a good shot at winning the Star Traveler. Depends if there's any Canadians from farther up than what you are in California. Yeah, indirect connection. Their leaves are changing. It's been in the 40s in the morning. Yeah, a little cooler there than here, but weather's going to be nice at Sykeston. Chris wants that picture badly. And SB says, I had a ninja trap set up at the first No Name Nationals. Cheerwine and Keystone. That sounds like him right there. Heavens Mopar says, I'll convoy with you next year. Yeah, you could put a good convoy out of there, Johnny. Sure could. Buff Del Campo says, we will be going live in an hour at 10 Central. So, but they'll be doing their nightly live stream, I guess, from the garage at 10 Central, an hour from now. I think they're night owls over there. Anybody have any last minute stuff? We got just a minute here, and we'll wrap up. But I have really thoroughly enjoyed the season and being live every Friday night with you guys. And yeah. Frizzell says, can I go through tech first to see if everything else passes before I drain the coolant? You could do that. You could do that. Frizzell, do you have a battery disconnect on that? Is your battery in the trunk? I think your car is really close, actually. I think all on yours, really, for the most part, is the fuel line. You need to have hard fuel line on it. Is your battery in the trunk? And if so, do you have a battery disconnect? You're close. And you also should have the battery either in a box, if it's in the trunk, in a box or a firewall partition between it and the back seat. Indirect connections is apparently I have to pull the cover off the satellite now. Okay. New Guy's Garage says me and Tom might even make it this year so long as the plane doesn't crash and burn on us. Okay, well, that's a good thing. Redbeard says, you have a great night. Hope to see you in 5 days. Right on, man. We look forward to seeing you. Frizzell says, battery in the trunk, may have to bring my Mustang. Yeah, and you know what? And that's, you can do that. You can do that. That's fine. I will say, though, uh, you got a vintage race car and there's things that you kind of need to do to make it kosher, you can do them in a very nice, vintage, classy way. Like, for example, if you need a battery disconnect because the battery's in the trunk, you can put one on it, but use the old school Moroso style and do everything period correct. It looks great. And then you do things like that, it makes your car safer for everywhere. And like, for instance, a hardline, like on that Galaxy, you can do it with braided stainless. You can do that. But man, does that ever look out of place on a car from the 60s? So for that car, I would run regular hardline like they would do in the day. You know, it's a vintage racer, right? So my car has hard aluminum line because that actually gets pretty heavy. You run 1/2 inch in the fuel pump. Yeah, that too. And if there's any questions too, uh, we can definitely talk offline and help you get things squared if you want to, whatever you want to do. Dizzy says, what did you get out of the debate, John? Well, since you're asking right at the end, we'll go there. I thought it was a hilarious kangaroo court of a debate. I can't even believe that we would have somebody so utterly unqualified pretending to be debate. And yeah, it was circus I figured it would be. Can't even believe that one on the right is a choice. You asked, I answer. All right, guys, we're past our time. Thank you all for coming out. Uh, Mohawk did a video of what you need to do if you're slower than 765 tech. That's very valuable. Check it out on the Mohawk 62 channel. And with that, I may be streaming some. I don't usually have my regular time. I don't usually have my regular time on Friday night during the No Name Nationals because so many different people are streaming. I may or may not be live during that time from the Burnout Pit. But for sure, I'll be live the following Friday and we'll do the debrief on Sykeston, what all happened. And we'll be doing that 2 weeks from this Friday. So with that, you guys have a wonderful, safe weekend. Get your last minute preparations done. And I will see most of you in Sykeston.